crucifixion even before crucifixion was ever invented. That's why when Jesus was on the cross, when Jesus said, my God, why have you forsaken me? He was saying to the people, go and read Psalm 22. Psalm 22 was written 1,000 years before, and Jesus Christ fulfilled that. Imagine that. 1,000 years before Jesus was even born, his manner of death was already predicted. My friends, that's what you call prophecy. That's what you call prophecy. A predicting of the future. Jesus did that. Jesus did that. So, the resurrection of Jesus Christ is the resurrection of humanity from spiritual death. We all can see the depth of depravity to which the human race have fallen. I don't see anybody else producing answers. I don't see anybody else coming up with an answer. The ills of humanity, this spiritual death, the disconnect from God. Only one person has come up with an answer, and that's Jesus. Jesus alone has come up with an answer. Everybody else, I see suggestions towards religion. Religion will ask you to do things so that you can gain God's love. But I have a question for you. If you have a son, if you have a daughter, how many times does your son have to greet you before you can love your son? How many times does your daughter have to greet you before you can love your daughter? Is there anything that your son or your daughter has to do before you can show them love? Nothing. So why do we think that we have to do all these religious things to try and gain God's love, to try and gain the love of a God who's already declared that he loves you anyway? God loves you. God loved you 2,000 years ago. There on the cross of Jesus Christ, that was God demonstrating his love to you. You didn't even request for the love. You didn't even ask for it. You didn't even have to make a prayer to get God's love. He loved you anyway. Religion will always ask you to do things, and yet humanity is spiritually dead. So whatever humanity does is spiritually dead. One has to be made alive again. One has to be made alive again. If you believe in your heart, and if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is the Son of God, you will be saved. If you believe in your heart and confess with your mouth that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Oh yes, you will be saved. You will be saved. The only person on record to have demonstrated power over death is Jesus. I don't see anybody else coming up with solutions to the depravity of humanity. I don't see anybody else coming up with solutions to the guilt of sin. I don't see anybody else coming up with that. If you're already spiritually dead, whatever you do is spiritually dead. You know, and I get people say to me all the time, but I'm a good person, I'm a nice person, I'm a nice guy, you know, I give to charity, I do all of these things. If you're spiritually dead, you're spiritually dead. It doesn't really matter what you do. until you're made alive again in your spirit. Until you're born again. When you're born again and you're made alive in your spirit, then you can have a relationship with God. That's how we have a relationship with God as your Father, through what Jesus has done. So again, I thank you, lovely people of Oldham, for allowing me to come out here and speak. We're living in wonderful times. I mean, 1998, I was in Oldham College. I never saw this day coming. Me standing here, preaching the gospel. Never saw it coming. Never saw it coming.